The Etheria Public Library embraced a tranquil stillness as droplets of rain tapped gently against the arched windows, cascading down in rivulets that turned the world outside into a soft watercolor haze. Inside, the cool, grey stone walls enveloped the space, their ancient structure exuding a sense of timelessness, grounding the air with a faint scent of damp earth. Towering shelves of dark, aged oak rose like sentinels, their surfaces warm beneath curious fingertips, polished smooth by generations of visits. Between these monumental shelves, aisles stretched deeply, forming a serene canyon where whispered conversations faded into nothingness. Light, filtered and diffused, meandered through the streaked glass, softening the edges of reality while inviting a lingering moment of quiet reflection. Here, the air itself felt thick and comforting, a weave of paper, leather, and beeswax that begged for stillness and contemplation, wrapping the room in its subtle embrace. He lingered within this sanctuary, a slender figure dressed in a soft, grey wool sweater that contrasted gently with the polished warmth of the wood around him. The fabric draped comfortably over his shoulders, its texture inviting the sensation of warmth against his skin as he stood motionless, absorbed by the layers of history surrounding him. His hazel eyes, quiet and contemplative, mirrored the muted light that filtered through the windows, their depths reflecting a peaceful calm as he let the weight of the serenity wash over him. In this moment, the only sound was the soft sigh of rain against the glass, and the scent of ancient books stirred his senses, creating a cocoon of familiarity that settled around him like a comforting blanket. Each breath he took intertwined with the scent of the library, grounding him deeper into stillness, amplifying the beauty of the moment. His gaze roamed slowly over the shelves, tracing the spines of countless volumes, each book a whisper of stories waiting to be unveiled. His fingers brushed lightly along the edge of a nearby wooden shelf, feeling the coolness of the aged oak beneath his touch, the polished surface warm from human warmth and time's gentle caress. Every subtle sensation sank into his consciousness, every detail amplifying the serenity that surrounded him. The faint echo of raindrops became a metronome, matching the gentle ebb and flow of his breathing as he stood among the towering shelves. It was as though time itself had suspended, allowing him to exist wholly in this moment, in this sanctuary of solitude and knowledge. The world beyond faded further into a soft blur, leaving only the present, rich with texture, warmth, and an enveloping calm that held him in its steady embrace. Elias stepped lightly across the expansive reading room, the air heavy with the scent of aged paper and wood polish. Sunlight filtered through tall, arched windows, casting soft patches of warmth across the aged flagstones. Each step was measured, his soft-soled shoes gliding over the smooth surface as he moved with a slow deliberation. as if he carried the weight of the library itself. He allowed the ambient stillness to envelop him, wrapping him in a cocoon of tranquility. His fingers brushed lightly against the cool marble of a towering pillar, absorbing its stillness, feeling the smoothness beneath his touch. He savored this connection, an intimate dialogue with the architecture. The soothing touch of each surface beckoned him into the library's heart, a sanctuary where time seemed suspended and silence wove itself into the fabric of his movements. Elias paused as he transitioned deeper into the library's quiet corridors. The light dimmed, replaced by the gentle glow of sconces lining the walls, bathing the passage in a soft, amber hue. He could hear the faint rustle of parchment from somewhere far off, but here it was almost a lullaby, cradling him in calm. He caressed the coarse texture of the old plaster wall, feeling the slight bumps and grooves beneath his fingers. Each irregularity was a fragment of time, holding stories untold. He took a deep breath, inhaling the musty scent of centuries-old volumes nearby, his chest rising slowly. The sensation of the wall against his skin felt grounding, reminding him of his place within this timeless space, a gentle reassurance that filled him with peace. Here, the world outside faded, cocooning him in the library's embrace. As Elias approached the oak shelving stacked with long-forgotten volumes, he felt the solid presence of the wood call to him. Sunlight flickered through the slats of the shelving, dancing playfully on the surface of each spine, invoking gentle shadows that swept across the floor. He reached out, running his fingers along the smooth, varnished edge of a lower shelf, feeling the strength of the oak beneath his touch. Each glide across the polished wood was a remembrance, echoing the library's steadfastness, its endurance against the passage of years. He closed his eyes for a moment, allowing the warmth of the wood to seep into him, absorbing the rich history that pulsed within it. The sound of his deep, rhythmic breathing harmonized with the serene silence around him, creating a sanctuary of stillness where all was right. Enveloped in the embrace of the library, Elias walked slowly, his worn leather shoes whispering against the cool stone floor of the narrow corridor, where shadows danced gently in the dim light. The air grew noticeably cooler as he stepped further from the faint murmur of the main hall, a soft shiver mingling with the stillness that enveloped him. He could feel the weight of his soft, grey wool sweater wrapping around him like a comforting shawl, while the darkness deepened and the faint scent of ancient paper tickled his senses. At the end of the corridor loomed a heavy oak door, unmarked, its brass handle glinting faintly like a hidden treasure. Each moment felt extended, as if time paused, allowing his quiet anticipation to grow. As he reached for the handle, his slender fingers brushed over its cool surface, a sensation that sent a ripple of warmth through him, grounding him in this serene space. As he pushed the door open, It did not creak but sighed softly, a sound that reverberated through the silence like a gentle exhale. The heaviness of the wood slid over the stone threshold quietly, as if reluctant to break the stillness that had enveloped him. Elias stepped inside. His presence felt like a soft, drifting whisper within the library's oldest section. The air inside was cooler, almost soothing, wrapping around him like a gentle embrace. The dim light cast an ethereal glow on the worn spines of ancient books lining the walls, their muted hues blending harmoniously with the soft shadows. He paused momentarily, letting the tranquility of this secret place settle around him, feeling gravity anchor him firmly to the wooden floor as the outside world faded further from existence. Elias closed the door behind him, the deep, resonant thud of the latch settling into place echoing softly, a comforting sound that sealed the world beyond into perfect stillness. In the silence that followed, he felt the warmth of his wool sweater against his skin and the familiar weight of his dark trousers, gently anchoring him in this sanctuary of knowledge and calm. His soft hazel eyes scanned the soft glimmer of dust particles illuminated by the gentle light, drifting lazily through the air like tiny stars suspended in time. With a slow breath, he allowed the stillness to permeate him fully, every sound muffled, every sensation magnified as he stood at the threshold of discovery, deeply comfortable in this shared silence between himself and the ancient whispers of the library. Elias stood at the entrance of the rounded sanctum, his thin silhouette framed by the soft, diffused light that poured through the leaded glass oculus. The air was thick with the scent of aging books, a perfume of nostalgia and quietude, inviting him further into this enclave of preserved knowledge. He shuffled forward, the subtle brush of his grey wool sweater against the soft cotton of his trousers a gentle reminder of his presence in this stillness. The walls, lined with books, swelled like a library of dreams long forgotten, inviting exploration without urgency. Rain drummed softly above, a persistent metronome that wrapped the room in its tranquil embrace, as if the world outside had been muted, leaving Elias suspended in a moment of serenity, surrounded by whispers of stories waiting to be dusted off anew. In this sanctum, Elias turned slowly, allowing his gaze to wander over the spines of the books, their titles now hidden beneath layers of dust. He raised a hand, fingers gently brushing against the nearest volume, feeling the rough texture of the aged leather binding beneath his touch. Each minuscule shift of dust danced in the soft light, a delicate ballet amidst the stillness. As he rested his palm against the cool cover, a slight weight settled into his shoulders, a soothing heaviness, as if he were being cradled by the history contained within these walls. The rhythmic patter of rain continued its lull, a backdrop to the poetic whispers of the past. Elias closed his eyes briefly, letting the sense of decaying paper wrap around him like a comforting blanket. grounding him deeper into this sanctuary of stillness and peace. Elias took a breath, the air rich with the aroma of time-worn pages, and stepped away from the shelf, allowing the book's cover to slip from his fingertips. The sensation lingered, like a soft echo of connection, leaving him in tranquil solitude. He moved to a nearby corner, where the light dimmed slightly, casting elongated shadows against the curve of the wall. Here, he settled onto the plush, worn carpet, sinking into its warmth, each fiber embracing him softly. Elias could hear the rain falling, a gentle promise that time was fluid here, suspended in a dreamlike state where only the present existed. With his back against the cool wall, he let his mind drift, melting into the profound stillness, feeling utterly at peace within the sanctuary that nurtured silence and stories alike. With deliberate care, he reached down to lift the first of the old folios, feeling the weight of the aged paper, cool and slightly dusted with the passage of time. His fingers, slender and delicate, traced the spine as he slowly placed it upon the low trolley, each movement reverent, as if cradling an ancient secret. The very act of sorting felt sacred, the soft wool of his grey sweater brushing against his skin, a gentle reminder of warmth amidst the stillness. The air around him was thick with history, and with every careful placement, he anchored the present moment into the history of the room. With a small stack now arranged, he paused, the soft creaking of the trolley echoing around him, a sound so faint. It felt as if it were part of the very silence that enveloped the circular chamber. Standing at the center of the room, he took a breath, feeling the cool ambient air envelop him like a soft embrace. He became aware of the fine motes of dust stirred by his earlier activity, suspended in the single column of light pouring through the oculus above. They danced slowly, each particle moving with a grace that belied their smallness, swirling and twirling in a rhythmic ballet of stillness. As he watched, the motes glimmered softly, their bodies catching the light like fleeting stars in a vast, sunlit sky. He felt his own breath synchronizing with their gentle descent, each inhale filling him with a sense of wonder, while each exhale released residual tension, merging him into the serene landscape of the room. As the final motes began to settle, he felt an overwhelming sense of tranquility wash over him, as if each tiny particle returning to the wood of the shelves and polished floor completed a cycle of peaceful restoration. The room seemed to breathe with him, the air settling into its crystalline clarity, every surface reflecting the soft warmth of sunlight now gently illuminating the space. He remained motionless, absorbed in the profound stillness, a still figure amidst the ethereal ballet of dust and light. There was nothing but the gentle rustle of fabric against skin, the hushed whispers of history enveloping him, his presence becoming as much a part of the environment as the shelves surrounding him. which held countless tales of life and learning, each word resonating in the tranquility of the moment. The rain fell steadily, a gentle percussion on the roof that draped the space in a cocoon of tranquility. Each droplet whispered to the wood, creating a rhythm that felt both familiar and comforting, like the heartbeat of the room itself. Elias shifted slightly, drawn to the soft, silvery circle on the polished floor, where light spilled from the rain-spattered oculus above. He knelt down, feeling the solid coolness of the wood beneath him, grounding him to this moment. The light danced and shimmered, appearing to breathe in and out as the tempest above shifted in intensity. It was a mesmerizing spectacle, the flow of water creating patterns that teased the edges of perception, inviting deep contemplation and quietness. Within this gentle half-light, the world outside dimmed, leaving only the rhythmic rain and ethereal shapes to cradle his senses. Resting in the circle of gentle light, Elias allowed himself to sink deeper into stillness, feeling the weight of the moment resting upon him like a warm, soft embrace. His sweater enveloped him in its tactile comfort. The wool felt both plush and soothing against his skin, echoing the calm of the world outside. Each breath he took synchronized with the rhythm of the rain. Inhale, pause, exhale. He closed his eyes, the muted color of the soft light reflecting a kaleidoscope of warmth beneath his eyelids. The sounds of the water trickling down, pooling and merging, invited him into a transitory space, one where time briefly suspended itself, where thoughts evaporated like mist under the warmth of the sun. The air around him, laden with the fresh scent of rain-soaked wood, wrapped around him, cradling him in this timeless, peaceful sanctuary. As the rain continued its melodic descent, Elias opened his eyes to the dance of the light upon the wood, a tapestry of silvery blue shadows. Each pulse of brightness seemed to pull him closer to the ground below, where the stillness of the moment mingled with the sweeping forms tracing across the thick pane overhead. He extended his fingers lightly against the cool surface of the floor, intertwining with the very essence of the space, feeling the vibrations of rain-kissed droplets echo through him, steady and reassuring. The textures of the polished wood sang a familiar tune, resonating with warmth, softening the edges of time and dimensions. Here, in this chiaroscuro world of light and shadow, it felt as if every droplet, every whisper of rain, cradled him deeper into relaxation, an endless draping of serenity hanging softly in the air. The library enveloped him in a cocoon of serene stillness, where each breath seemed to blend with the gentle whispers of pages turning and the faintest rustling of parchment. He settled heavily into the low, wide wooden bench, its smooth surface under the weight of his slender frame offering a steadfast embrace. With a soft sigh, he arranged the small, rolled-up jacket beneath his head, allowing the familiar texture of wool to cradle him like a soft cloud. The ancient oak, solid and reassuring, pressed against his back, its raw, cool surface melding seamlessly with his clothing, offering an unwavering support that felt almost alive. In this moment, he felt as if he were anchored to the very architecture of the library, the weight of his limbs grounding him in peace, each passing second adrift in warm, unhurried tranquility. As he lay upon the bench, he became acutely aware of the gentle contrasts around him, the coolness of the wood beneath him and the soft warmth of his wool sweater against his skin. The smoothness of the bench embraced him, and every breath he took filled him with a deeper sense of stillness, as though time had paused to allow him this peaceful interlude. He could almost hear the library breathing, the rhythmic shifting of shadows flickering gently with the light, creating a hypnotic dance that lulled him deeper into relaxation. He let go of all awareness beyond this moment, surrendering to the sensations surrounding him, as if the very air cradled him in a tender embrace. Here, in this pocket of tranquility, he was safe, suspended in quiet serenity, each subtle movement of the dust motes dancing in the light anchoring him further into blissful repose. In this tranquil embrace, he sensed how the simple act of lying still rendered the world outside the library irrelevant, a mere whisper in a vast expanse of quietude. His eyes, soft hazel under the muted light, fluttered closed, inviting darkness to surround him, a gentle relief from the overstimulation beyond the library's sturdy walls. As he inhaled deeply, the faint scent of old books and polished wood wrapped around him like a warm blanket, coaxing him further into tranquility, into stillness, into rest. He felt the rhythmic cadence of his heartbeat synchronizing with the soothing silence of the room, each thump a gentle reminder of his being, grounding him to this timeless moment. Each passing breath drew him deeper, drifting into a blissful suspension where the weight of the world felt comfortably far away, transforming him into nothing more than a being of breath and quiet. As he lay back against the solid wooden bench, the weight of the world seemed to melt away, just as the soft rain began to patter steadily against the roof above him. Each droplet fell with grace, creating a gentle rhythm that echoed throughout the small room, almost like nature's own lullaby. He allowed his body to be cradled by the cool wood, feeling its contours press softly against his back, as if the bench itself was embracing him. The air around him was still, yet it carried hints of the earth. A rich aroma mingled with the scent of damp wood and rain, a blend of tranquility. With his eyes shut, he visualized the delicate dance of shadows on the vaulted ceiling, where light shifted and flickered softly from an unseen source, each movement a whisper in the sacred silence of the moment. The rain drummed a steady, soothing cadence on the roof, each note resonating deep within the wooden structure that had stood for decades. holding the stories of 100 seasons. He felt the minute vibrations travel through the bench, a gentle reminder of the life that surrounded him, the stability of history enveloping him in its warmth. The cool air caressed his skin, brushing against the fibers of his soft grey wool sweater, which seemed to cradle him in soothing softness. He inhaled deeply, the sense of rain mingling with the aging wood, creating a cocoon of earthy familiarity that wrapped around him like a gentle embrace. In this suspended moment, everything beyond faded away. The world narrowed down to the calm rhythm of the rain, the steady heartbeat of the structure, and the enveloping sensation of peace washing over him. As he remained nestled in this serene pocket of time, he sensed the subtle dance of shadows that played gently across the room, orchestrated by the flickering light filtering through the distant window. Each shadow moved with a velvety slowness, filling him with an overwhelming sense of calm, as if time itself had forgotten his little sanctuary. His slender arms rested alongside his body, the soft cuffs of his sweater brushing lightly against the worn leather of his shoes, feeling the texture shift with the delicate movements of his breathing. The rhythmic patter of rain created a harmonious backdrop, lulling his thoughts into a gentle haze of tranquility, where nothing felt rushed or urgent. It was as if the very air had thickened, wrapping around him in a gentle embrace, holding him in a moment suspended, where peace reigned absolute and the outside world became but a distant memory. In the dim light of the room, soft rain pattered against the window, creating a gentle backdrop to the quiet. The air was rich with the scent of old books, their pages whispering secrets in the stillness. His breathing began to slow, an easy ebb and flow that harmonized with the rain's rhythm. Each inhale was accompanied by a soft rustle of his grey wool sweater against the wooden chair, the sound merging seamlessly with the drumming outside. He exhaled slowly, the tension of the day dissolving into the air like mist. As the boundaries between himself and the room faded, he felt enveloped by the warmth of the space around him. It was as if the walls, crafted in their circular embrace, invited his slender form into a tranquil dance of stillness, allowing him to become a part of this quiet sanctuary. The warmth of the wool wrapped around him like a gentle embrace, each fiber cradling his skin as he nestled deeper into the moment. He could feel the solid weight of the wooden chair supporting him, grounding him further into the peace of the room. The high ceiling loomed above, adorned with dusty shadows, while the floor remained steadfast beneath him, a comforting presence of stability. With every breath, he surrendered more fully, the rhythmic sound of rain weaving through the silence, creating a tapestry of soothing notes around him. His body settled into the enveloping softness, warmth radiating outward, mingling with the cool air that drifted in from the window. Each sound, each texture, blended into a lullaby of serenity, urging him to relax into the enveloping embrace of his quiet surroundings, a still figure embraced by soft light. As time suspended in the space around him, moments stretched and melted together, a beautiful blend of simplicity and warmth. He felt a deep connection to this room, a quiet sanctuary designed for stillness and meditation. The warmth of his breath mingled with the coolness from the rain, an invisible dance that mirrored the gentle fluctuations of the weather outside. No sounds interrupted this flow. It was simply a lingering pause in a hush filled with whispers of tranquility. His fair complexion reflected the muted light. Eyes softly closed, allowing the serene atmosphere to cradle him in unyielding comfort. He became acutely aware of the stillness, of how it cocooned him, wrapping him in layers of peace. In this moment, he was not just a visitor. He was at home within the quiet, timeless sanctuary of the wood, warm and undisturbed, in harmony with the melody of raindrops. He settled deeper onto the firm wooden bench, each breath slow and deliberate, as the world around him melted away into the background. The rain tapped gently against the tall windows, a rhythmic melody that echoed softly through the expansive library. The dim light filtered through the glass, creating a hazy veil that wrapped around him, soothing and warm, like a soft embrace. His slender frame was anchored to the bench, the fabric of his soft, grey wool sweater brushing lightly against the cool, smooth wood beneath him. Outside, the steady patter of raindrops harmonized with the whispering pages of books, crafting a symphony of stillness. In this serene cocoon of sound and light, he felt the edges of his awareness blur, each raindrop pulling him deeper into the serene depths of relaxation. He became aware only of the moisture in the air, a gentle fog that enhanced the sweet scent of old books lingering softly around him. In this cradle of calmness, he could feel the gentle weight of his eyelids as they fluttered, yielding to the sweet, slow embrace of sleep. Each soft drumming of rain became a lullaby, coaxing every thought from his mind, leaving behind only a tranquil emptiness, a serene void filled with the soft pulse of the library's heartbeat. Shadows danced delicately on the spines of books, and the air shimmered with a quiet tranquility that enveloped him like a soft mist. His breaths grew deeper and more measured, filling his chest, then releasing in a soothing rhythm that synchronized effortlessly with the rain outside. The sensation of the pulsing quiet wrapped around him, each droplet harmonizing with the stillness within, a gentle reminder that this moment was his alone. He became the library's echo, a living piece of its profound serenity, suspended in time, melting into the silence. As he drifted further into sleep, the world beyond the library faded into mere whispers. A distant roar softened to mere background music. Each droplet of rain seemed to absorb sound, leaving only the sweet tranquility of solitude surrounding him. the gentle movement of air against his skin, melding with the fabric of his clothes, breathed a softness into his being, a melding of body, mind, and soul with the essence of the library itself. The pervasive quiet seeped into every crease of his existence, while the muted light painted everything in shades of grey, a canvas of serenity where nothing disturbed him. Like a mote of dust caught in a sunbeam, he surrendered completely, allowing the stillness to envelop him completely. Sleep embraced him fully, intertwined with the very heart of the library, quiet and unyielding. As he melted into the embrace of dreams,